Let's dive into Sissy's training so we can stay consistent at home. Whenever she's doing behaviors that we want to keep seeing, whether that's showing us calm behaviors or she's following our commands, we want to make sure we reinforce and reward these behaviors with either praise, petting, or treats. And then with those behaviors that we don't want to see, whether it's jumping up on us or she's being too pushy or she's not following our commands, we're going to follow through with her training equipment to decrease those unwanted behaviors. So let's go over Sissy's training equipment. This is her prong collar. She will wear this whenever she is on a leash. How we take this on and off is we're going to secure one of the links and push the other one through like so. To put it back together, we're going to pinch this prong and put it through the holes of the other prong. Then whenever she wears this, the leash is going to attach to the D-ring that swivels. How we use this, say she's in the heel command. Heel just means walk next to me on a nice loose leash on the left side. Say she starts to pull ahead or does something that we don't want to see whenever we're heeling with her. What we're going to do is say no to mark the incorrect behavior, follow through with a pop of the leash, and then remind her heel. So no, pop, heel. And then, of course, when she gets back into position where we want her, verbal praise, petting, and treats to reinforce and reward where we want her to be. Now with her remote collar, how we turn this on and off is those red dots. We're going to touch them together. That green light, that means the collar is on charge and ready to go. On and off button on the back of the remote, we're going to push and hold until the screen lights up. You're going to see level 20 appear on the screen. This is Sissy's working level. Then we're going to focus on the black S button. S just stands for stimulation, so it's just like an electric muscle stimulator. So how we use this, say she is in the heel again and she starts to pull ahead. We're going to say no to mark the incorrect behavior. Follow through with the black S button, heel, no, button, heel. Then, of course, when she gets back, verbal praise, petting, and treats when she's where we want her. Now, depending on the level of distraction we have, we may use one of these, we may use both of these. Just depends on the situation we are in with Sissy. With the remote collar, it's going to be the first thing that we put on in the morning and then the last thing that we take off at night. So we always have that form of communication with Sissy throughout the day. With the prong collar, she may be on a leash in the house to introduce the new rules and boundaries in the beginning. And then she'll only need it whenever we're outside on a leash and on walks. But in the beginning, especially with bigger distractions, on leash inside the house. So we have that form of communication and we can guide her where we need her to go. Now that we've gone over her equipment, let's go over her commands. We've already gone over the heel a little bit. So about 80 to 90% of our walk should be in the heel command. The other 10 to 20%, we can give her release word free. Free means she's not in a set command. That's going to be her time to go do her business where we follow her rather than her following us. Now we have sit. Sit means stay is implied until she's given the release word free. So this is really good for those door manners. So she can't just bolt through doors. So whether we're on the inside or the outside, we're going to have Sissy sit. Sit means stay is implied. So as we open the door, if she gets up, follow through with the training equipment and try it again until she gets it right. So we can make sure we set the same boundaries here at the facility at home for her. Then if she sits and stays, great. Now we have two options. We can either free her through the door or we can heel through the door with her. Just depends on the situation we are in. But making sure that we make sure we practice this every single time so she understands the boundaries with doors and she can't just bolt through them. Now we have down. Down means stay is implied as well. So with all of her stay commands, whether it's down, sit, or place, we're never going to call her from a distance. So you never want to walk 10 to 20 feet away from her and then call her to you, because then she's going to get rewarded for coming to you and not staying in whatever stay command we are doing. So whenever we're practicing the down, we're always going to go back to Sissy where she is and release her from where she's at. And then when practicing this one, we want to reward as low to the ground as possible so she doesn't try to get up for treats and break her down stay. So say we're doing a little bit of a distraction or we have Sissy in a down and we're doing stuff away from her and she gets up and comes to us. No big deal. We're just going to say no to mark the incorrect behavior of coming to us, follow through with the training equipment, take her back to approximately wherever she was, get her back in the down, and practice it again so she understands that even though they're doing stuff away from me, doesn't mean I need to come into their space. Now we have place. Place is a boundary stay, ideally on an elevated bed. When practicing this one, I would suggest having the leash and prong on inside the house for the first couple times of practicing it and with the first big couple of distractions that we have. So we have a way to guide her back to the place bed if we need to. But just like with all the other ones, we're never going to call her from a distance. So when we're practicing place, say people come over and she stays in great. Once she's nice and calm, we can go back to her and release her from where she's at. And then when we reward on the place bed so she knows where that positive zone is. But say like we're practicing the place bed and she gets up when people come over. All we're going to do is say no, get the leash, get her back on place, and then have people come back over so we can practice her experiencing these big distractions but understanding she's supposed to stay on the place bed. Now we have come when called. When practicing this one, I would suggest having a 30 to 50-foot leash so we can let her get distance away from us and practicing recall from pretty far away. And then when practicing this one, we'll let her go get distracted doing her own thing, because ideally when we need her to come back to us, it's going to be when she's distracted, not paying attention to us, not in a sit stay waiting for us to call her. So once she's nice and distracted, we can call her to us. We're going to say come, nice, loud, and firm. Praise her as she's coming to us. Back up just a little bit to invite her into your space, and then have her sit and give her the reward. Sometimes you'll notice I give her a hand target when she's running into my space, because sometimes she's a little bit fast and I don't want her to bulldoze into me, so rather I give her a hand target to hit her nose on, and then she sits and gets the reward. When practicing this one, say she decides to ignore us or she's extra distracted and didn't realize we said it, all we're going to do is say no, just like with all the other commands, follow through with the training equipment, call her again, and we're going to go right back into that praising, because just because she makes a mistake out there doesn't mean we're not going to be the positive zone. So she's always going to get rewarded for making it back into our space. Now we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. When practicing this one, I would suggest a leash and prong on so we can guide her into different scenarios if we need to. And starting out with dog safe food. So we'll toss something on the ground, say leave it. If she does, great. If not, following through with the training equipment, guiding her into a different scenario and practicing it again so she doesn't think it's okay to just eat anything that falls on the floor. Then you have two options. In the video, I tell her free and allow her to eat the treats off the ground, but if you never want to have the option of eating stuff off the ground, you never have to give her that release and say, okay, you just pick it up before she has access to it. But that is all of Sissy's commands. So reinforcing and rewarding things that we want to keep seeing is really important. And then those things that we don't want to see, like jumping up on us, we don't want to reinforce her for that. So we're going to follow through with the training equipment so she doesn't think it's appropriate to jump on people. We're going to have fun, stay consistent. Now we're going to watch Sissy do her commands. Go see. Go see her. Free. Sissy, come. That's okay. Sit. Free. Yeah. It's not fun. Sissy, come! That's so good!
Hello.
Sissy, come! That's so good. Sit. She left, unfortunately.
Did she really?
Yeah, she did. Sit.
She's been with you guys for a long time,
A
hasn't she?
little over 4 years. Sit. Sit. Free. Heel. Heel. Sit. Down. Good girl. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down, sis. Good girl. Good. Down. Free. Free. Good job, sis. Yes, sis. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Free. Leave it. Good girl. Oh, drop Let's dive into the other features of the remote. We've already gone over how to turn it on. Now let's go over how to turn it off. Same concept as turning it on. We're going to touch these red dots together. That red light means the collar itself is off. Now with the remote, on and off button on the back of the remote, we're going to push and hold again. These turn on and off separately, so that way while Sissy is wearing them, she isn't accidentally turning off the collar while she wears it. Now we've already gone over that black S button. That is going to be whatever number you see on the screen. So right now level 20 has been working for Sissy. But say you notice whenever you start working with Sissy that level 20 isn't either not working with her as it's too much or she's not responding to it at all. What we can do is change this level by holding down on the dial and rotating it to whatever number we think is going to work for Sissy. This goes all the way up to 100 levels. So she's still on the lower end of the levels, but level 20 right now has been working great. So what we're going to do is change it back to level 20, hold down on the dial again until the screen stops flashing. So this is locked into place, so we can't accidentally change it while we're putting this in our pocket or messing with it, so we don't have to worry about accidentally moving her level. Now underneath this black S button, we have a red S button. This is a boost feature. So right now her level is 20, but if I press this, it's going to jump to 45. This is a boost feature that we can use in emergency cases. Say Sissy starts to run after a car. Well, level 20 reaches about here, and when she's chasing a car, her adrenaline brings her about up here. So we have an instant way to communicate with her when she's doing things that are dangerous. So the red S button is for emergency cases when she's not responding to us. Now on the other side, we have a T button. This is a vibrate feature. I like to use this to make sure that the collar is on and ready to go, but you can absolutely use this whenever she gets further into her training and you notice that she doesn't need the stimulation, and it can be used kind of as like a warning button. Now on the back of the remote, we have an M/C button. This stands for momentary or continuous. At the beginning of Sissy's training, we started out at continuous at a very low level to introduce the collar in a very positive way. And then once she got further into her training, we go to momentary at a little bit of a higher level, so she should stay on momentary the rest of her training. Now the on and off button also works as a flashlight feature, so rather than pressing and holding it to turn it off, we're going to push it. This turns on a flashing flashlight. Press it twice, solid flashlight. Third time turns it all of the way off. So if you let her out at night, it's a good flashlight feature to use to make sure you know where Sissy is or where she's going. Now underneath the on and off button, we have the charging port. Both the remote and collar are rechargeable. They do stay charged for about 12 to 14 hour days if she wears it for 2 days. So if she wears it for 2 days for 12 to 14 hours, you should be able to charge it every other day and she should be great. But this does change color, so it'll start bringing orange and then red whenever it starts to lose its charge. So if you watch that, it'll tell you whenever it's going to need charge. It does come with a dual charger. So you can charge them both at the same time and you know that they're both charged and ready to go. Now it comes with longer prongs. Sissy has that really short fur, so she doesn't really need these, but they are in there just so that you have access to them because some dogs with longer fur, these smaller prongs do not make good contact with their skin, so they need the longer prongs, but Sissy should be fine. Now at the bottom of the box, we have the manual. This is something if you want to read it over, absolutely go for it. There are other features of the remote that you can use, like the vibrate feature turns into a tone feature if that's something that you want to use with Sissy. Then at the back of the box, we have the company. This does have a 2-year warranty, so if you have any issues with it, absolutely get in contact with them. They can send you over a new one or get something sorted out with you. Now with this, they're both waterproof, so if it gets wet, not too big of a deal, but if she's going to stay wet for an extended period of time, I recommend moving the collar around so that way it's not irritating and rubbing one part of her neck a little bit too much and causing an irritation. But that is all of the other features of the remote. So just like in the beginning, we're going to have fun, stay consistent, and that's everything.